30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing a family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Ticket Weeknights here starts on the ones and twos. We got Jeffrey Calhoun in here joining me to my left. You guys can join in, use the Starter Heyman text line, use any of these streams, and most importantly, download the Ticket app. It'll be incredibly helpful, especially come fall here.
True.
We'll have a lot of Husker sports. Well, I shouldn't say that. We'll have a lot of Husker sports, not on our station, but a lot of just sports in general, and that involves college football games, that involves NFL, that involves high school. A lot of that stuff is going to be able to be heard on the Ticket app. Really, the only thing that you guys can't listen on there, at least as of right now, is the Royals. But pretty much NFL, college football. If you're on the road, I think we do get that Texas-Ohio State game. So what a fantastic way to listen to the game, because that's one that you probably don't want to miss a single minute. So again, if you have that Ticket app, just makes it really easy to listen wherever you go. With that being said, Jeffrey, what do you got for us today? I know you want to talk some pro volleyball.
Yeah, we got some big news with professional volleyball. I know, Harrison, you and I talked about this a little bit last night with the reports about Major League Volleyball and the Pro Volleyball Federation merging. But this morning, as of 9 hours ago, everything became official and the professional volleyball world kind of blew up. So Major League Volleyball and the Pro Volleyball Federation are merging. And
is it all teams? Like no one's having to rework or?
So that's actually one big thing. So there's going to be 8 teams.
Okay.
And it honestly, it looks like operationally, it's pretty much going to be the PVF. They're just taking the Major League Volleyball name and like logos and stuff. But the big thing is they are inexplicably scrapping the Vegas Thrill. Like they're just gone.
They're pretty good too, aren't they? In terms of attendance.
Yeah. Attendance wise, like record wise, they were never that great.
Right.
But I would say they probably had like the second or third best fan base. Omaha's obviously won.
Yeah, I just remember that Supernovas, the year we were the flagship station when we were having those guys on. I remember watching some of those and being like, that seems like one of the better cities. Like people were showing up, and at that point, you certainly couldn't say the same about all these teams that were playing.
And like as we talked about last night, with the Las Vegas Aces, like Vegas has got some good sports crowds. They're able to draw in people pretty well if they market it correctly, and I really think they did. And again, like they just hosted the PVF championship game. So that's a little confusing because, they posted a 2026 lineup, and the 8 teams are all of the teams that were in the PVF last year, except for Vegas, and then an unnamed Dallas team. But they are marking it as Dallas's inaugural season, and all of the social media for this new Dallas team and the Vegas Thrill are different. So it doesn't look like it doesn't look like they're moving. It just looks like it's a new team. Which I like the Dallas market. I think that's a very good market for volleyball, but I don't like the fact that they're trading one good market for another. Like that's just a little head scratching to me.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. Unless, just being conservative early on, which is fine, but it does feel like you're leaving one of your better markets. Mm-hmm. But again, it's not a super big league, so maybe that's just the sacrifice that they had to make at that point in time. Who knows all the significant details, like in terms of the money, as why they made that move. What do you think a good number is for pro volleyball teams? Like, what do you think they would ideally want?
What do you mean?
Like, how many teams did this thing get up to? Realistically, do you think in the next 20 years, can we get to 12 teams, 16?
I like 16.
Yeah.
I think for a new league, 16 is a good number. So again, right now it's going to be 8 this year, and the next year it's going to be 10 teams. Mm-hmm. They're adding teams in Washington, D.C. and Northern California, which I'll get into in a second because I have opinions about that. But I think 16 is a good number. Yeah, I mean, pending they don't do like what the WNBA is doing and just are like, oh, we have all of these problems. Let's keep adding teams, which, I feel like all of our conversations lead back to me being mad at Kathy Engelbert. But yeah, I like the number 16.
Yeah, it seems about right. But you just have a lot of good college athletes now. I feel like you're at a point where volleyball is more popular than ever. We've hinted at this. It's more popular than ever. So you're following the story from college directly to the pros. So now you're getting to a point. I think it's going to take some time, but
Yeah.
I think there's becoming enough faces in volleyball to where 16 doesn't seem crazy. There's always the question of like, can you make 16 volleyball teams? Yes, you can find enough players to play, but it's like you have 16 marketable teams, and then are the players themselves interesting within that market? And as long as the college scene popularity continues the way that it is, then I think it should be totally realistic to have 16 teams because, again, the people know the names, they know the faces, and everything in college is indicating that it's becoming more and more popular. So I can totally see it being realistic in like 16, even probably sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, this league has tried a lot to expand fast. And initially, PVF was going to they wanted to have 3 expansion teams in Indianapolis, which ended up taking off, and Indy actually did very, very well, both record-wise and attendance-wise. And then they wanted Kansas City and Dallas.
Where were you at with their expansion early on?
My thing with them was I loved it in theory, but because they originally wanted to have 3 expansion teams for this past 2025 season. And 2024 was the inaugural season. I'm like, okay, going from 7 to 10 in 1 year, like that's fast. Like, pump the brakes a little bit. And ultimately it didn't work. Dallas and KC both got postponed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Major League Volleyball had something to do with that because they were obviously trying to fight them off and
they're competing.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it ended up being a you can't beat them, join them type deal. Indy took off, and I mean, Indianapolis, made the league, or not the league one, the PVF championship game. I would say they had, earlier when I said Vegas had the second or third best fan base, like Indy was the other team I had in mind. Like they had good fans show up. Caitlin Clark was a big supporter of the team. She was at a number of games. And the volleyball scene in Indiana is very, very good. Like, obviously Purdue is year in, year out one of the best teams in the country. Indiana is always solid, and they have a very strong fan base. So that translated over very well. And then, yeah, KC and Dallas. Dallas obviously is taking off in a new way, but KC, it looks like that's not happening, which is, again, I'll get into that in a second because I have opinions about the cities that they chose and didn't choose.
I was just going to ask you that next anyways. Like, give me the cities you would I think the best way to do it, add 2 teams every year, not 3. I think it just, why were they adding 3? Well, I guess they had 7. They needed to get to an even number 10. So that's why. That makes sense. Give me 3 cities that you would want to see them actually move into next. Or move back into, in the one case.
Yeah. So I really like Dallas. I think that's a good market. If I had to pick 2 more cities to add, Kansas City and Chicago are my 2 markets. And the reason is, one, they're both really, really good collegiate markets. Kansas City is in that tri-state area of Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of those universities have incredible collegiate programs.
How far away is the campus?
For which school?
Missouri.
2 hours.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
6-hour drives from Lincoln, about
4.5 to 5.
I mean, a while since I've been to KC. Then I was thinking it was 6.
From what? From
Lincoln
to KC, or
yeah?
No, Lincoln to KC is like 3 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
Yeah, you might be thinking St. Louis.
Oh, you're right.
You might be. That's about 6 hours.
Okay. That's a perfect spot for a team then.
Yeah, and that's is like KU is a really good up and coming program. As much as it pains me to admit, they're 30 minutes away. And then I mean, you even, you're tapping the Iowa market, which is, but I think that's a really good spot. The club volleyball tournaments and national championship happen in KC every year.
Is there a Nashville team?
No, there is not.
Nashville could be. It's such a transient city now, though. It feels like it's like Bachelorettville or whenever you go there.
Nashville is a team
city
that I would like to see later. Like, I think it could be good at some point, but not right now. Tennessee, University of Tennessee has a solid culture, but like Vanderbilt, like they're just getting a college team this year. They have some good events, but I think, if we're aiming at like 16 teams, I think Nashville would be a good team to add as like the 16th team.
That makes sense. Very already pretty founded. You got your Titans. You got a lot of franchises already in there. So I like the city, but I think it takes. It just feels like once you land that market in that city, the payoff's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it has been for the teams that have been there for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the Titans fans, I was a little bit surprised. One time I went down in Nashville. The only time was how passionate the sports fan base was in that area. Like, even going to the bars, what are the bars? It's like winners and losers. It's all sports based stuff. And I was like, okay,
Right.
this city, they love the
Mm-hmm.
sports scene. So I think it'd be good, but I think you are right. A, it's going to be really expensive to do it over there. B, you could probably add that as like the gem to the crown, like the final piece when you're getting towards the end there. Trying to think of other cities. Chicago seems like an easy one.
Yeah.
You're competing, but I don't think there's just so many people. Like you can find. It's probably even cheaper than Nashville. I wouldn't be surprised depending on where you're at.
And Chicago, I just really like because that is a pretty big volleyball scene. You're really close to Indiana and Wisconsin, who both have very good volleyball scenes. Obviously the Big Ten's located there. And my big thing with both Kansas City and Chicago is there's no love teams there. And I understand like they're not really threatening to each other, but you are to some degree battling for attendance. And Dallas is fine because there's not a team truly in Dallas for love. But I like, they're putting teams in Northern California and Washington DC, which
what no, Sacramento or what are we talking?
It's looking like Sacramento. They haven't officially stated it, but the president and owner of the Sacramento Kings is heavily involved. So everything is kind of looking towards Sacramento. I just don't like it because DC and Northern California, they're just not volleyball cities. Like they're not. Northern California, there's not any good collegiate volleyball teams there, like at all.
Why would you go Northern California? I don't get a lot of people going with California for sports teams. I especially if it's a newer league.
Yeah.
And you're not even being in LA area. You're in the Sacramento area. So you're going to pay crazy fees just for operating in the state of California, which, hey, there's a price to it. Nice, beautiful weather. Maybe easier to get players to want to go play for you when you're out there, but a serious cost to it. And then, your players are also going to get taxed as well. So if you get into like that, even just like the coaching and getting people to come play for you, they like the weather, sure, but there's a lot of downside. I think there's more negatives to having a franchise in California than there ever was before. One of the biggest ones is just oversaturated at this point.
That part.
Like it's just, and it is a nice, beautiful state. It's very hard to capture the attention of the people, and it's already oversaturated. If they Sacramento, I'm not surprised, but I'm a little bit just more surprised. Like, why do people keep doing this in California?
Like it made sense it kind of made sense for the Valkyries with the WNBA, but that's also like you have college teams like Stanford in Northern California that are very well respected, and then you also like the basketball scene there is good. Like obviously, like there's a huge fan base for the Warriors. Like, and it's a matter of like where these sports are popular. Like volleyball's not popular in Northern California. And it's the same thing with DC. You look at the DMV area. Maryland, Virginia, and Virginia Tech, they're not good at volleyball. Like, Maryland has some years, but like there's not an established presence there.
Yeah.
And the DMV also, like, it's not a city or an area that really produces a lot of volleyball talent. It's just,
it feels pretty transient too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It feels that DC area, you get people that are like kind of lifers, and you get a lot of people that are, I could be wrong, in and out. I think DP would actually know more on this. He's a DC kid, but I'd be curious, like, feels like very mobile, and like those, to me, those aren't the greatest. Transient cities are not the greatest for having franchises.
And I just I feel like people that are from DC, like DP, are big DC fans, but like you don't get a lot of non-DC people that pick DC sports as their team.
Yeah.
Like, especially like I think Nebraska is a good litmus test for that kind of stuff because there's not pro teams. So, like I'm a Dolphins fan, you're a Bears fan. Like you see all these fan bases scattered, but whatever the fan base in DC it is, be it the Wizards, the Mystics, the Commanders, yes, the DC homers are very passionate, but I don't know a lot of people not from that area that are just picking those as their teams because they like them.
That's a pretty accurate assessment, I think, on sports fans within the DC area. Because I don't think I've met any athlete from the, like even DeMornay Pierce now roots for DC, and he played with the Raiders. Like he's a Raiders fan, but yeah, no, DC kid. So it still has a lot of like likes rooting for not the Commanders and their success, even though his first team he got to play for was the Raiders, who gave him a shot, and he was still big time Commanders fan. So that might be one of the better breakdowns of DC fans I think I heard. And you're right, it's tough to what kid is going to be a DC sports fan unless you snagged that generational talent. Unless you grabbed the equivalent of whatever Steph Curry was, and then started the Golden State Warriors, who nobody cared about, and all of a sudden that's the team to care about. If they can find like a generational volleyball player on whatever team they decide, like sure, but to me it feels like a very difficult city to get that fan base. You'll get it inside, but like from the outside looking in, you're just not going to be drawing a ton of eyes. And then Northern California team, like again, what do you think the most popular sport is, NFL or college football?
For Northern California?
No, just in general in the U.S. Like what's the most popular sport? NFL, college football?
It's close. I mean, year in and year out it changes. I'd say right now it's college football.
Okay. And they still can't fill up their stadiums at USC games. So what's a volleyball team and a startup? Like, that's where I'm kind of going with this. It's like you got, the biggest sports out there, whether you agree or not, just the money's not the money, all the money and the viewership's going to say most people are into this football, NFL or college. You can even go look at I always want to say San Diego Chargers. I always want to say the St. Louis Rams. Look at the LA Rams, beautiful stadium. SoFi, every now and then it's like you guys are really slow getting into the game. And now they're still having success. The NFL has that kind of power, but it's just always a little bit surprising. And then when you see volleyball, like, hey, we're just starting up. Let's go pick one of the toughest places to do it.
I mean, and it's just I don't get it. I mean, and again, like, the Kansas City area, the Chicago area, like produces a ton of volleyball talent. And again, like, with Chicago, you're seeping really into that Wisconsin market, which is massive for volleyball. Like,
and there's a vested interest in volleyball.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You don't have to create it. It exists.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Love put a team in Madison. And like Madison is a city I wouldn't be mad at either. I think that'd be a very good market. I like Vegas. I still like Vegas as a market. Like, I think that's very good too. Even though they don't have a Power 5 team, like UNLV is a pretty well-established mid-major. And again, like the Vegas Thrill showed that people like it. Like Vegas loves women's sports. Yeah.
Vegas loves sports
and sports
in
general. And like, Vegas, like, how do I word this? Vegas is almost like, I'm trying to figure
every rich person who wants to buy a team's dream.
Well, I mean that,
Vegas
but like,
is a moneymaker.
Vegas just like they have very loud, passionate fans. Like some of their sports don't have the, kind of like I said the other day with the Raiders, like they're bad, but they're fun. Like Raiders fans, like they're electric, like, for better or for worse, like, but there's a lot there. Same with the Aces. Like they have much more history, but people love the Aces there. Like people love the Golden Knights. Like Vegas is a good market.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't keep the Aces.
I don't know. Maybe it was some weird thing of like MLV wanting their own original team and they just put a team on the chopping block. But like, if you're going to do that, like
nicer venues too, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect, what I was noticing a lot in pro volleyball is like they were messing up on the seating and the arenas they were playing. And some were going way too big and it almost looks silly unless they're zoomed in. Aces, I felt like figured it out, at least in that first year. I remember watching, I'm like, that's like the perfect venue to get this thing. I'm just surprised. I felt like it was really well run.
Yeah.
So kind of a bummer for the Aces. Maybe they're back though, as you pointed out at the very beginning. They're going to keep trying new avenues to expand this thing. Jeffrey, any final thoughts before we throw it to break here?
Nah, let's throw it to break and we'll come back and definitely gonna have more to talk about though.
All right, don't go anywhere. Harrison Arns, Jeffrey Gillian. Talk to you in a bit.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing a family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully, you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Owens on the ones and twos. We got Jeffrey joining me to my left as always. You guys can join in 402-464-5685 or any of the streams. We were talking some volleyball On the other side, the merger, if you will, and then of course the Love Volleyball still doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Make the argument the only one that got the script right the first time around. And,
They're doing well.
So far, maintaining, doing what they need to do, and I'll just see how those guys continue to evolve, because so far they've thought about it in a different way, and it's been the most beneficial for them. They really have avoided too many problems.
Mhm.
I'm really curious. The shout out to Love Volleyball, not only for everything they do, but sponsoring us, but also they've done it right in what has been pretty challenging times in the pro volleyball world. And you don't want to be those teams that's getting people out there, these girls, and then being like, oh hey, I know you thought this was going to be a thing, but we mismanaged and there is no team anymore.
Well, what I think, the other, I was thinking about this when we were talking about California. They didn't put a team in California, which is smart.
Exactly.
And they avoided, for the most part, they avoided Pro Volleyball Federation cities. I feel like you have to put a team in Omaha. I understand there's already a team there, but that's one you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Atlanta, I didn't hate that either. That one was one of their dicier decisions, but it worked out.
Yeah, I think the Atlanta vibe didn't have a good grip on the market either.
No, I mean, they were a very good team, but the Atlanta market is one that, I don't know, it's a good market. I really like Atlanta. It's a city that I've talked about moving to because of the market. But I mean, it ultimately worked out for them. But the other 4 cities were all completely untouched by the PVF market, and they hit 2 huge ones that the PVF missed in the greater Texas area, especially the Dallas area and Madison. And they really, I don't feel like they've had many major bumps so far.
No, it seems like the best way to do it is to go find those pockets between those campuses.
Mhm.
Obviously Texas, you got a million of those universities around, so you're setting up pretty well. You can find unique spots to put it. I think Kansas City's got to be the biggest home run that's just still sitting out there.
Yeah.
It's such a. Is there any other big cities that you really think deserve a team or not? I shouldn't say deserve, that could thrive well. We said Chicago. New York doesn't have a team, do they?
Mm-mm. But New York also doesn't really have New York. How do I word this? The Northeast isn't big on volleyball.
That's true.
I mean, they're not. I mean, I genuinely I'm trying to rack my brain on college teams in the northeastern area. The closest I would say is somewhere in Pennsylvania.
I think Oregon. Be cool if you could find a cool spot.
Oregon
Portland, there's no Portland. I think Portland would be a really good city, actually.
Portland, I think, would be really good. Oregon's got a really good program. I think a Pittsburgh team could do very well.
Mm-hmm.
Just Pitt and Penn State are both very good, but yeah, New York I don't think would do well. I mean, Syracuse volleyball is terrible.
I think you're right about just that Northeast area. It's a real tough sell.
I mean, again, I'd like Pittsburgh, but I mean, the big cities you think of for the Northeast, Boston, DC, New York, it's just not going to do well, just based on the sport. But yeah, KC's got to be the biggest home run. But even, Love they've kind of put their stake in there a little bit. They had the Love Classic last year that ran in concurrence with the club volleyball national championships. So, I mean, while they don't have a team there, they've kind of, they've established their stake there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just got to get a team there, man. I mean, truly, it's a recruiting hotbed too. And I mean, especially when you put these club events there, then you have a team that could kind of feed right into it. I don't understand. I don't understand why there's not more pro sports in general in Kansas City. I mean, you expand it out all the way. I mean, especially with women's sports, especially when you see what the Kansas City Current have done. That city loves the Kansas City Current. And that's the only women's pro sports team there.
That is a crazy move. That's a crazy move for Kansas City in the Midwest. Again, if you're in the Midwest, that's the one spot where women's sports I shouldn't say only spot, one of these spots where women's sports has truly landed. And there's an audience that really resonates, enjoys it, watches it, shows up, pays a really good amount of money for it. Sometimes they're down. It just feels like to skip over it is skipping over the easiest city to do it in.
Well, it's also it's cheap.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
on top of that.
like, that's the thing. It, like, if you want to talk money, like Kansas and Missouri are not expensive states to live in at all. And I mean, like, a lot of these players, like, they probably won't live truly in Kansas City, but they'll go to Lenexa, Kansas. They'll go to Liberty, Missouri. Like, it's cheap. It's cheaper than California. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
like, and again, like the Kansas City Current, like CPKC is the first stadium created exclusive, for the intention of women's sports. The attendance there is incredible. The team itself is like, I was talking about this with one of my friends the other night. Like, it's so good that everybody else hates them. I think they're like 4 games above everybody else right now, because I think they're like 12-2, and then the next team after them, I want to say, is San Diego or Angel City, and they're like 8-4. But I digress. Like, the culture there is good. The team is good. The people love it. People were gunning for a WNBA team there. Again, there were talks of putting a PVF team there, and it's just like, it's right there. There is, I don't see a single downside to putting a team in Kansas City.
Seems like a place with the most upside.
Yeah,
outside of Omaha,
100%.
Kansas City might have been the second pick.
It's also it's low risk too.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, if your team fails in California, like, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
lot of
that's a
lot
lot
of
of money. That's
Mhm.
a lot of taxing. Like, that's a lot of money. But Kansas City, like, if it fails, yeah, like, obviously it's gonna be a hit. But like, as far as big cities go, like, that's gonna be one of your cheaper options to go to.
I'm just very intrigued on like the way they're deciding to go about this with the merger that just went through. So, what, it was 3 years ago was when that started? Pro Volleyball Federation?
No, last year was their inaugural season. 2024 was their inaugural season.
2024 was the inaugural season. Okay.
There were I think they kind of started talks in like 2023. But yeah, last year was the first year for them. So, I mean, they're still pretty new.
Last year was the first year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've only had 2 full seasons.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, crazy. It's been around a lot longer. Man, that's a lot of turmoil in just a short amount of time. For some reason, I was like, oh, yeah, we called the Supernovas game like 5 years ago. It's like, clearly it has not been that long.
I think, if I'm going to be really honest, I think there's a lot of greed involved.
Of course.
I think that people are noticing that volleyball is a very much growing sport.
And there's money to be had.
There's money to be had, and people are just they're doing too much. And I think that's a big reason that Love has succeeded is they've kind of taken the slow and steady route of things. Like, they didn't advertise a ton before. They let it kind of slowly grow. They got more connected with people that could help build the industry rather than advertisers and marketers. Like, they got the Italian national coach to coach one of their teams last year. Like,
it just sounds like they scaled it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna get people of like that high regard, that's you better scale it carefully.
I feel like they focused much more on building a strong foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they built out before they built up.
Yes.
And I think that for longevity purposes is much more important. And PVF, I think PVF they built out a little bit, but they focused more on building up. And then Major League Volleyball was just like, what if we just blew everything up immediately and just went straight up? And I mean, almost ran themselves into the ground, honestly. And I'm glad that they were able to figure something out. But yeah,
very interesting. At least we have it. We can say that much at the very least. At least we have some pro volleyball.
Yes, this is true.
And you can, the girls that go out there, play volleyball. They don't have to only hope on making some Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
There's other options, and then also there's options to get ready for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
If you are one of those elite talents, whether that's playing for League One or that's playing for, depending on how those seasons work, you might run into problems. But nonetheless, great to have than not to have. I think we can all agree on that part. So with that being said, we got to throw it to break, though. Don't go anywhere. We got one more segment, at least just between me and Jeffrey, and then we'll have Reggie Lovett Takedown Tuesday for another hour after that. So don't go anywhere. Right here, 93.7 The Ticket. Talk to you guys in just a little bit.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Bros Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, Apply today at nebco.com.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got Jeffrey joining me to my left. Before we get to Takedown Tuesdays with the national champion himself, Rich Lovett, obviously part of the Husker Wrestling program. Him, Antrell Taylor, 2 independent national champions last year in their own respective classes. With that being said, though, we're going to wrap it up, continuing where we started. Volleyball, pro volleyball draft. You gave me some news. They're moving it. Jeffrey, break it down.
Yeah, so basically it looks like the exact date isn't announced, but last year was the first year they did a PVF draft, or like a televised draft. And even the year before they did an untelevised one, but it was in late December, early January. So after the season ended. But this year they're going to move it, it looks like, to mid to late November-ish, which is right around conference championship time before the national tournament starts. And I can see a couple arguments to it. My biggest concern is that it's going to distract the players from the goal of their postseason, their national championship run, that kind of deal. But I can, I know we talked about off air, like there are definitely some different opinions that I can see if you want to talk about kind of your side of it and what you think.
At what portion of the postseason is this happening?
Again, it just says November, so it'll probably be during like conference championship runs, conference tournament runs.
Okay.
That kind of, looks like it's going to be around Thanksgiving-ish.
Okay. I see. The reason why I kind of like that is more, that's the best way to like capitalize on the amount of eyes. You do the draft and you mix that in with like, hey, also the playoffs are starting right now.
Right.
I think that's like the idea behind it. Also, I just give it a break, like especially for the college girls. You probably like end up to a lot of things where I wonder if they've drafted some of those players in the past, and then this player's like, well, actually, especially for how new a lot of those leagues were, they draft them and they're like, I actually don't want to go there. Or how did that work? Was it drafting? Like, were they drafting? Did we have situations where they draft a player and that player, ended up going like, say, play in Italy, or just like didn't even like they get drafted and then did not play for the team last year?
Not that I saw. They're like, well, basically from what I understood was like, because, some players like, because they, the seniors on those, national champion or national contending teams still could have another semester left. So basically how it worked was like, if you drafted a player, you had the rights to them for like a year and a half. So like, let's say a team just hypothetically drafted Jess Merzek. If she wanted to finish out her last semester at Penn State, which, she didn't obviously, but like they could bring her in this upcoming season. But you didn't see that a lot. You saw teams draft players that they knew could and would come in immediately. But you didn't see a lot of players, go international and stuff. I will say, from an advertising standpoint and trying to get your league to grow, it makes sense, because you also know that like the broadcasters in the national championship and the national tournament are going to be like, oh, this player was drafted 6th overall to the Omaha Supernovas. Like this player, was, acquired in a trade. Like, this was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Like those are going to be talking points, and people that don't know about this league are going to be like, oh, what's this? I'm going to check this out. I like this player. I want to watch them more. So from an advertising and from a growing the league standpoint, it's the right move. Like I will say that.
That'd be fun too. They probably talk about, some of the players like in the future. They'll spend the draft night, obviously highlighting it, but you have college volleyball going on too.
Yeah.
So like, I just think it's a good time to mix everything together and for something that's not a foreign concept, but it being as pro at this level is like, let's put it all in a nice package. What are we and what are we selling? Here's the draft. Here's some postseason action. Also, the college games are going on right now. That's what we're drafting. And on top of, obviously, you get some overseas players. I think it's just a nice little bundle. You put all that stuff together, and it's like, this is pro volleyball, buy or sell. And then if you do it the right way, I think they'll do well. Having plenty of people buy, as the Supernova's proven, you can find those markets, tap into it. You get really, really great turnouts. Because I think, Supernova's really good in that first year in particular. But
oh yeah,
I remember like they had the sellout, and then you were kind of wondering, it's like, okay, do they just pack it the one time? And it was ebb and flow, but ebb and flow pretty high numbers. What was the second best city, do you think, in terms of all, love, everything? Like, what is so far appeared to be the best numbers? Whether it's the city or team, I'm not sure, but
I would probably, honestly, say Vegas. I was trying to find exact stats. That was hard to find. But I would probably say Vegas. Indy, again, last year as well, did really, really well. But yeah, I would say Vegas, but nobody's touching Omaha. Trying to see.
What's the most popular overseas pro volleyball, or what's the most popular pro volleyball league right now before any of the U.S. ones started up? Where people go, because I know a lot of them go over to Europe. I want to say
Russia and Italy are really, really big.
Russia surprises me.
Russia, I know Jordan Larson played there, and if you're getting Jordan Larson, that's going to be big. Italy right now, I would probably say is the best. They won gold in the Olympics. They won gold in the Olympics last year. I believe they won the VNL, World Cup this year. And
who won for the men's?
I'm sorry?
Who won men's?
Oh gosh, who was it?
It was devastating.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't watch men's volleyball ever, but you get to the Olympics, so all of a sudden, especially duos volleyball becomes electric. It was one of the coolest things. I just love that, especially come the Olympics.
I'm looking it up right now because I'm curious.
Yeah, you're good.
It was France last year.
That's right, man.
Yes. France. So I'll be so real with you. I don't watch nearly as much men's volleyball.
It's much less popular than the women's right now.
And it's, for me, it's just again, I talked about this. It's kind of the same deal with the WNBA. Why I prefer that. I like college sports more, and the college game is way more established in women's sports. The national tournament for men's is 9 teams because there's just that few colleges that sponsor it.
Also, I just don't. When you get to the men's volleyball, I really respect anyone who does it. I just, as a viewer, I think that's for the heart, because everything gets to a point where it's bang, bang, point.
Yeah.
And it's just so ridiculous, the speed and how high those get. So it's very, why I think women's volleyball is just much more interesting is you get those volleys where it's just, and you're just at the edge of your seat. Oh my God, who's going to get men's? You're rarely ever going to see that. They just hit the thing way too hot.
I think men's volleyball sometimes can be a little bit just too much pure speed, but I feel there's you see play true play designs and stuff in women's volleyball. I remember calling a Mizzou game last year, and I straight up watched two of Mizzou's hitters run slant routes, and I'm okay, that was really cool to see, but you're not gonna have time to do that in the men's game.
Yeah, and it's also why would you?
Yeah.
What's our best offense? Hit it hard as you can.
Send it at Mach 3,000, just barrel it.
Yeah, it's fun if you're not a guy who plays a lot in beach volleyball. I like that, but I see in some of those guys, I'm oh, there's no way you could ever get to that level. So again, I'm not bash credit if you can play men's volleyball at that level. Duos, credit to you, but I think it's just a really tough 100%. Thing to market for the reasons that we just said. All right, with that being said, though, let's kind of wrap it up for me and Jeffrey. Takedown Tuesdays up next. Don't go anywhere.